Hey there, nerds. We're back with another episode of Flashback Friday. So, I could easily lose my nerd card over this. I understand. I know its importance, but it's just not one I rewatch frequently. All apologies to Rainbolt because it's like his favorite movie. But finally, I subjected James to Blade Runner.
I mean, I can't really say that because I've probably said enough on this channel to revoke my nerd card, but I do agree. It's compared to the science fiction and the dystopian science fiction I adore, Blade Runner does not jump out at me immediately. And it's purely because I feel like the director's cut was a lot of "Ooh, let's do this and this and this and throw it all together." And so while there is a compelling A and B plot, the A and B plot in the overarching structure is very much 30 minutes of one story and then 30 minutes of the other story. And so by the time you get through one section of the A plot, you get to the B plot, and then it's like at the end of the B plot, you're like, okay, well, now we're going back to the A plot, but I kind of forgot what happened at the A plot. So now we're just back. And so it kind of teeters between two different compelling stories that aren't that well balanced. And that's, to me, the only reason I don't think it's just immediate amazing from the get go.
And as James mentioned, we did watch the director's cut. I am not well versed enough in Blade Runner to remember what the differences are between the theatrical version and the director's cut. I remember some when they were releasing the director's cut and they showed what they were doing and they refilmed some of the scenes and all that. So I remember some of them, but I couldn't point out all of them. So all I was able to tell James best I could was that this is definitely a longer version, so it's not as tight story wise, but I don't remember what is new and what is old or what was in the original and what wasn't. The things that did stick out to me were once again the special effects, but more the practical set designs were just phenomenal. They made you live in this world. And once again, following with what Star Wars started and what Ridley Scott did in Alien, it's a dirty world. It's not this pristine 2001, everything's aesthetic. It is dirty, gross, grimy. And again, one of the things I love about watching these 1980s future sci-fi films, it took place in the past in 2019, which is cracks me up. I love how that happened now
I
that I
must have missed
thought
that.
when it was new and now I see it when it's in its history. So that made me laugh. But yes, the production was phenomenal. The special effects they had, it's not that I ever didn't know that, but rewatching it again, I'm like, oh wow, I forgot how good this was.
It is a visually beautiful film, and it's one of the few times I will argue for matte paintings, which should definitely be used in the modern era because when done right, they are some of the most beautiful visuals you can pull off. I mean, Star Wars does it amazingly. Tron did it really well, but Blade Runner really grabbed me at the way that I know it's a matte painting, but because it's so dark and they did it so well, you can't it doesn't immediately jump out at you as like, oh, it's just a matte painting. And it's never as atrocious as The Thing with that single shot where you're like, oh, matte painting. They Every aspect of the set design is so goddamn good that I could genuinely just watch a 30-minute to an hour film of just like establishing shots of the city because there's so much to the design. And that's not what this movie is. There's certainly a shot where Deckard is coming upon the giant pyramid mega corporation building for the first time. And it's like, we're going to have 5 different angles of the same building. And it's like, oh. But if
Yeah.
that were just the movie itself, no story, I wouldn't be disappointed because it's visually stunning.
And I hate saying this out loud because I get it and it's not fair, but it's such a slow burn movie. And I don't think it's necessary that I just lose interest at times. And the reason why I point this out is because Alien is also a slow burn movie, but that is phenomenal the way they pull it off. This one, again, I understand how important Blade Runner is in sci-fi and in nerddom and just filmmaking in general, but it's just not for me with the slow storytelling that they have. I don't think the payoff, so to speak, is worth it. That being said, and James will take it from here, that last speech from Roy is so beautiful.
The entire film feels like it can walk pretty competently and then it'll trip for a minute and kind of just sit there. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I love THX 1138. That is not the easiest dystopia film to digest. It is long and it is slow, but it's deliberate. It knows exactly where it's trying to go. Blade Runner, to me, felt like it had an idea of where it wanted to go, and it kind of just stopped, smelled the roses, got lost, and then remembered where it wanted to go, and then got lost again. And it sucks because it's I feel like there should have been an ending at a specific point, but it didn't end there. But regardless, one of the most beautiful, I guess, fight scenes, death scenes, speeches in all of writing, honestly, has to be Roy and Deckard fighting in the dilapidated, like, 1920s hotel, and then ending up on the roof. Deckard's at the end of his rope. He's like holding on to the girder, about to slip off, and Roy catches him and he brings him back up and he puts him down. And he just delivers the most chilling soliloquy I think I will ever see in my lifetime. If I could be half as good a writer as whoever came up with that, I would die happy.
Yeah, it is so powerful. Like Tears in the Rain. It's just such a beautiful speech, and it really gets you thinking in a way that's like, I've seen things, and you're like, wow, yeah, that's, and it's about to be lost, and it was obviously because Roy's dead, but it's just so beautiful a way to end this film, and that it's almost a societal comment on AI versus humanity and what's real and what's not. And I mean, that's what it's based on. Philip K. Dick's "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep," and it's an awesome short story. But again, just the way we get to that final sequence, it's a hard watch in my opinion, and it's something I do every once in a blue moon, like with James, but it's not something I look forward to.
It's a raw moment, and it's just, I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. It's when I heard it, I'm like, much like in THX, there's a scene where the actor, I can't remember his name, I always blank on it. He's talking to I think it's like a little girl, a little boy, and he's like, "Oh, back when I was in ninth grade, my class was this many pills," and I'm like, oh my God, this world has been completely changed by that single line because it completely recontextualizes our understanding of so many things. Roy's monologue is that for Blade Runner, where the whole movie you're like, okay, so they've got decent technology. And then he's like, I've seen attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark at the Tannhauser Gate. The humanity in Blade Runner they're starfarers, but they sent the AI work bots to go do that instead of do it themselves because they'd rather rot on Earth than go explore and starfare. And it just hit me that it's like this world is a true dystopia because humanity lost its explorative nature and instead remained on the comfort of their dying planet. And it hit me so hard, and it really changed my understanding of the lore so much.
The other fun thing is, this is 1982. Rewatching this, and I forget every time. Like, I get Harrison Ford, duh. Rutger Hauer, duh. Daryl Hannah, duh. I remember them. But rewatching it, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot this person was in. And I mean, listen to this cast, duh. Sean Young, like, yes, I get it. She's got issues, but she's phenomenal in this. She was great in Dumb and Dumber. She's great in Stripes. She's just a really good actress. Edward James Olmos. I love his costume in this. It's so good. But when he shows up, you're just like, oh shit, Deckard's in trouble again. I just love him. Emmett Walsh. is fantastic as the boss, basically bringing Deckard back. I said Daryl Hannah. Brian James, who's the original replicant we see, who is just you don't really know him, but you see him in movies like 48 Hours and Tango and Cash, and he's just a great actor who's there. And his turn as Leon is just great as just this sort of no-named android that's happening around, but he's causing havoc, and he's really the one that launches us into the story. And then I completely forgot James Hong. Like, I see him in it, and James had made a reference to Big Trouble in Little China, and I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Yes, I just completely forgot he was in this. That's awesome. Just, you forget these cast of characters early on in their career, or as James Hong, I guess, the middle of his career, because he's still going in his 90s. It's just so good. Such a good cast. I do love that about this.
Yes, and the performances are all immaculate. Harrison Ford plays himself. Again,
early on, because at this point it was basically Han Solo. That's what we had seen. So for him to do another sci-fi and be like, I don't want to be Han Solo anymore, it's like, okay, then we're going to make you this other sci-fi guy, which is completely not Han Solo.
Every replicant does so well at just like those small little ticks that make you think there's something off. I mean, Rachel, I already blanked on the actress's name. She does amazing as Rachel with just like the slight roboticism, but then like the sass, especially during the test in the opening. It's like she's obviously a replicant, but the sass and the personality that just like shines through a little bit. It's so good. He shows up very briefly, but the guy who basically chauffeurs Deckard around, he's just a presence, and he's there, and yet he's a character I remember more than some other characters.
What are you talking about? Edward James Olmos?
Is that who that is?
Yeah, he's a phenomenal actor, and again, you're like, oh wow, like every time he shows up, you're like, haha, you're in trouble, dude. And he's taking him somewhere to get in trouble. But yeah, and Sean Young, like as Rachel, she doesn't know she's a replicant, and I love that speech when she leaves and he's talking to Tyrell, the head of his own corporation. It's like she doesn't even know, and he's like, no, we're improving, and he's so excited, we're improving on AI, and you're like, but the whole point of Deckard's job is to destroy the AI you already created because they're outlaws. And I'm like, wow, but he's all excited. And it's like that I do love about Ridley Scott movies, specifically Alien, Prometheus, which I don't like Prometheus, but what they do is man creates technology that they cannot contain, and it gets them in trouble. And just to see Tyrell's face as he's describing this, it's like, bro, you don't even understand. You're creating your own problems.
Remember, kids, playing God is not a good pastime.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I love the thing they do with the contacts, with the eyes, if that is contacts, because it's such good like lighting technique, costume design. It's just really, really effective with its visual design and its performances. The story itself, there are pieces I pick out and I thoroughly love. But then there are parts at which I'm like, okay, can we speed this up? Can we skip past this? And it's I get it. I totally understand. I do not make film. I have written scripts. That doesn't mean I have therefore directed them or done anything, and therefore I know my criticism is not that weighty. But I am going to tell you when your story is dragging a bit, because it feels more like we're goofing off and just doing whatever rather than like focusing. And some movies get to do that and get away with it. Dazed and Confused does it perfectly. But the whole point is that it's not a strict narrative. There's no end goal. That's not the same with Blade Runner, because the whole point is that we know Deckard is trying to destroy the replicants. So to then kind of have it where he's like hemming and hawing about it and not really doing it. And then I think he only actually kills 2 of them. out of the five, he only actually kills two because he takes out the dancer with the snake. Leon is taken out by Rachel. He shoots. Oh, I can't remember her name.
Daryl Hannah. I don't
Yeah,
remember her name, but yeah, Daryl
yeah.
Hannah.
He shoots her, and then Roy dies, and then Rachel he escapes with her. So that's also a little weird that it's like this dude is known for kicking ass, but then we kind of see him get his ass kicked, and it's like,
But did he evolve?
that is a good question.
And that's one of the underlying things. And sorry, folks, I have tried to watch 2049 and I've fallen asleep twice now. So I will watch it again with James just to put this book to bed.
I'll keep on reading, guys.
But that's one of the arguments, is Deckard a replicant himself? And thus, is he part of what Tyrell is so thrilled about, that he's evolving himself? Don't know.
I mean, the writing's on the wall. It's not very subtle. I mean, we see the thing happen with his eyes. We don't see it happen with anybody else. And the one line that really hit me, that it's like I'm all for saying Deckard is a replicant, is when the God, I'm really bad with names today. Dude hops out of the car after Roy dies, and he's like, "You've done a man's job," and it's like, no normal person would say that unless you're not a man. And so that's my biggest argument for why Deckard is a replicant. And there's probably more details on a rewatch I might pick up here and there. But I'm definitely all for saying Deckard is a replicant.
So at the end of the day, I do believe Blade Runner is a good film. It's just not for me. It is miles ahead of that crap fest named Prometheus. So good on you.
Agreed.
But yes, I would say overall, if you've not seen Blade Runner, you have to see it, because it is an amazing nerd movie. And what they did at the time in 1982 is phenomenal to portray that. We will follow up with 2049 at some point when I can, I don't know, take some anti-sleeping pills and stay awake for it. A lot of caffeine. I don't know. But yes, Blade Runner, I think it's something that all nerds must see. But it's not my bag, baby.
And remember, kids, if you find an origami unicorn outside your doorstep, it probably means something. Maybe. I don't know.